How do? Watching and building a screamer killer. I hate push fitter.
I'm not even live yet. Give me a minute. Love you all good. Love you so much. Good evening, Organ UK, and thank you so much for the 5. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Hellstormwargaming. Hope you're all having a great time. My name is Mikey. I stream every single Monday, and you are tuning in just in time because yesterday, you might notice my voice is quite hoarse. Yesterday, I ran the world's first Warhammer 40,000 tournament, holding a 10th edition event. The first in the world, and that's what we're talking about tonight. So thank you very much for tuning in. Again, my name is Mikey, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you are tuned in, let me know what you're up to tonight. Let me know what's cracking. What's going on? You know, what's the juice? How you feeling? Come on, Mikey, do your job. That's what we pay you to do. You're gonna have to pay me. You're gonna pay me more, clearly. Thank you very much, Organ, for the 5 before I started. He said, "How do watching him building a screamer killer? I hate push fit." Me too, mate. Push fit is dog shit. It's so bad. It's always bad. It's never good. It's always terrible. And yeah, it's always a pain in the ass. You have to clip the pegs off, and then the pegs, you know me. I do love pegs. But you have to clip the pegs off, and then it only kind of goes together a little bit. You have to hold it to make sure it's gonna work and like not die. So it's just annoying. So I'm just posting that I'm going live. So sorry, everyone was like having a go at me because I didn't go live yet. But I was telling everyone that I'm going live. I need to tell people that we are live. Otherwise, how do they know that we're live? You know? But let me know where you're watching from, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Let me catch up with everyone in chat. Good evening, Ginger Steve. Maybe also send out a group text to all your contacts, Mikey. I can't read. I'm so tired. So they know the stream is on. That's what I was doing. I was tweeting and posting on Instagram and Discord. Has Discord even said we got live? I don't know. Bishop!
Power of Wrath for Assault Squad with JP, so I stop killing units on the charge and my opponent then kills them next turn. Suffering from success. Thank you so much for the 5 bucks, man. Yeah, Hammer of Wrath's really good. Really, really good. Really, really good. But yeah, thank you. And then my opponent kills them next turn. That's what I've been having. I've been drop podding. I've been running 10 grav cannons and a drop pod. Well, 10 grav devastators and a drop pod. I kill something, and then they die, and I'm like, I didn't even bother. I can't believe I killed something, and they killed it back. That's some bullshit. Mercenary Q, thank you very much for the 2 months. Hope the tournament was good. Votan 50% win rate at the minute. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's what you want. Votan kind of shit. Thank you so much. Yeah, the tournament was good. We're going to be talking all about it this evening. That's the plan. We're going to be talking about what it was like to run a 10th edition tournament for the first time. And it was chaos. It was chaos. Be like Bishop and tell us how you've already broke 10th edition and super chat to glow. Exactly, you can either super chat to glow or you become a member. As you can see, we have the stream member goal of 10 members total. If you want to become a member, you can. You can press join down below. There is a link in the description if you are mobile to join. And we're going to try and hit 10 members. That's the plan, okay? Just 10. Just 10. That'd be great. Let me catch up with chat. Let me catch up. Hurry up, dinner's nearly ready. Listen, delay dinner or have it earlier, okay? Quit twittering. I'm telling everyone I'm live. God damn it.
He's getting AI to write his script. I was literally just copy and pasting the same message 4 times. Okay? Why am I dressed as Mario? Well, am I not allowed to wear a nice t-shirt? Do you just want me to wear Warhammer merch all the time? You know? Is that all you want? You just want me to read... You just want me to wear Warhammer merch all the time? You can wear Warhammer merch at Hellstormwargaming.com. But sometimes I just want to wear a nice t-shirt. Okay, this is stream is just for me. Everyone out. Yeah, everyone leave just for Organ UK for sending money before I started. Sabian Wilson, thanks very much for the 5 months, mate. Tactical Marine level. I played 10th. It was fun. I'm glad you had a great time, matey. Thank you so much for the 5 months, buddy. That's really, really kind of you. That's a long time. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And thank you for the gifted membership from Jamartin. Matty Dwell, make sure you say thank you. Jamartin, absolute legend. Hope you had fun this weekend. He was playing 9th edition, like a loser. But I hope you did well. Hope you had a great time. I think the Polish people who did them started before 1 PM UK time. Yeah, but that doesn't count. They didn't have as many players as I did. I think they're 20. Mine was one of the biggest, I think. I think it was like second biggest, maybe. I don't know. But the thing is mine went out without a hitch. That's the main thing. Tired, didn't get back until 2, started work at 6. Yeah, it's cringe. I've been asleep most of the day and doing the garden. Hope Lambo is doing good. Yeah, I mean, we've been chatting today. Lambo's been doing pretty well. It was, I'm not going to go into it too much. It was pretty scary at the time, but yeah, he's good. That's the main thing. Obviously, he tweeted about it, so if you want to know, you can go on his Twitter. The Blade Guard from the Night Boss that I put together this weekend weren't bad. The Blade Guard. Everyone building Indomitors when Leviathan came out on Saturday. Mike Wow. Hello. Marty Marv, thank you very much for the 13 months. Happy birthday in a month. Look at you. Absolute legend. Thank you so much for the 13 months, Marty Marv. Absolute legendary supporter. Thank you so much. Curry picked up some Eldari. Meta Chaser. We'll love to know the results of the Hellstorm GT compared to some of the others I saw over the weekend. That's what we're going to talk about. The plan is we're going to talk about... we're going to talk a little bit about the armies that won, but we're mostly going to talk about more weird rules interactions that I found in 10th. And by I found, I mean my 40 beta testers, also known as attendees of the All-Stars GT. So, because there's quite a few weird things that came up. Which is quite funny. Can't believe I missed it. Well, the event, you did miss it. Absolutely gutted. Mr. T. Pims, oi Mikey, hope you're well, happy and healthy. I'm very good, thank you. A bit tired, obviously croaky. We're doing alright. I haven't broke 10th, 10th broke me. I broke 10th again. And again, my 40 play testers. I literally put 40 people in a room, right? I put 40 people in a room. I fed them pizza. I fed them sandwiches and crisps. And they basically wrote the 10th edition FAQ. And that was it. 2 days. Listen, Games Workshop, hire me. I can do this. I can do this in a weekend. Literally. I can literally do this in a weekend. Love the music choice. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It might be a bit loud. Yeah, this is not my start music. You know, it's just on while I'm trying to chat. I heard some dirty AdMech cheat. Didn't read the designer commentary. And he proxied the model that wasn't approved as well, as far as I heard. David. New suggestions for a video, Mikey. I played Thousand Suns in 10th and I had a seizure. Nando was trying to keep the win rate of Thousand Suns so high that if it looked bad, he
sad I missed the tournament. Maybe next time.
Thank you so much, Mercenary Q, for the 20 tip. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much for the 20. That's such a fat donation. Really appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to attend, there is another event happening in August, Heat 4. Obviously, there's a link down in the description to if you think of attended. We are in another event this year at Sanctuary, and another one at the end of the year in October in Sheffield. Well, thank you, Jamarty, for the 2 as well. Did you buy enough garlic bread? There was plenty of garlic bread. Not too much, not too little. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Really, really kind of you. We're burying you in a small ball gang t-shirt when you eventually bite the dust. I mean, true. Don't wear any Warhammer merch. Wear Hellstorm Warhammer merch. That's true. Hellstormapparel.com, guys. You want a cool t-shirt? Hellstormapparel.com. Not to plug at you, but it's literally how I live. Not to force products down your throat, but it's how I survive. Grab yourself a cool t-shirt. Just bought Leviathan box sets. Get yourself a Leviathan's t-shirt. Want a cool coffee time t-shirt? Grab yourself one here. And more apparel. Let's go to men's. Wow, look at all these cool designs. Firstborn Gym. Small board gang. You know, look at all these cool designs. Shield wall. Shall we add more designs? What would you want? I want another one like this. Let's put a casual, like a little thing in the corner. I like that one. I like this one a lot. So you can buy one of these today. You can buy one of these today. Anyway, where were we? Where were we? Preparing for a tournament in an hour. You've got a tournament in an hour? Bro, it's Monday. What do you mean a tournament in an hour? What's going on? What do you mean in an hour? I want to play a tournament in an hour. They must have been a real knob. They were a bit of a knob, weren't they, Jacob? Where were we? What's Louis saying? I thought people would have given up on 40k now. It's been a couple of days, so you dropped off it and come back to AOS. Even you're playing 40k, Louis. Louis with the Gaff boys, the Grand Alliance Friendship, was having a combat patrol training day yesterday. Loser, after I gave you my monies, what is the slack I'm getting? I mean, Martin, did you expect any less? I treat everyone equally. If you're going to play 9, that's cringe. But yeah, it's fair enough. Hope you had a good time, buddy. What factions were in the event? I think we had most factions. We didn't have Orc, Sisters, or Death Guard. I think we had everyone else, though. Yeah, I think that's it. No Tau. Ooh. No Tau. Good shout, Neil. Death Guard, Orcs, Sisters, and Tau weren't present out of 40 people. Let the actual playtesting commence. The beta testers are here. Didn't half the rules questions come from my games? Quite a couple did. A couple did, that's for sure. How are you doing well, Razil? Hope the foot's getting better. We need to get people to yell the phrase "devastate me, daddy" every time someone rolls with that rule in a game, especially on stream games. Devastate me, daddy. I would say that. That's something I'd say. That's something I'd consider. But what rule? I hear an admit player found some weird rules by not reading the designer commentary appendix 3 subsection F, but the rules are in easily digestible free PDF. That's true. Jose, thank you very much for the 20 months. Hi, Mikey. I have my 1,000 point list done for my Death Guard, and I'm just missing 2 models of Rhino and Blighthollow to complete the list to play. Nice. How's the painting going? Is it all nearly painted, or is it all grey? Is it from Indomitus? Is it all unpainted still, Jose? Thank you very much for the 20 months. Really appreciate it. And bam, thank you so much for the 1 month as well. Tournament talk time. Hell yeah. Tournament talk time tonight. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's the first 10th edition event ever. If you do an Amble Meta t-shirt, I'll buy one. Hellstorm Sharpie coming soon. Yes, true. True. He sent the message Friday. Which message? What message was sent Friday? I don't know what you mean. Where's a Hellstorm t-shirt showing the sprue that says "I love a peg"? I think I think if I start trying to make peg merch, I think Painted Face might have a question about it. If you had no orcs, did you even have a tournament? There was not one wow. It was quite quiet. It was nice. It was a peaceful tournament. Everyone was really happy because no one was shouting in everyone's ears going, "Wah! and then pronouncing the G's at the end, so they're actually saying WAG. You had Admit, were they as terrible as everyone's saying? No, just the person playing, and he's also in chat. Space Wolves. I guess there wasn't every Space Marine chapter represented. There was Gladius Task Force, Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Death Watch. I don't think there was Iron Hands technically. I don't remember. There was Space Marines though, that's the main thing. There was no Genes to the Cult. Also true, no Genes to the Cult. No, we didn't have 5. Actually, no, there was hardly any factions there, lads. Sorry. Sorry, lads. There was actually no factions there. There was 5 missing. I heard there was a miscount for favourite player. Steve got 7 votes from 4 games and didn't win. It's funny because Steve didn't get 7 votes. And he only got 3. And the 3 were from the people he wrote on the cards for. So even though Steve cheated, because Ginger Steve, who's in chat, everyone, was going around to some people he knew and was writing his own name on their name tag to vote for favourite player, and still didn't win. Ah, dear, it was very funny. You chatting Dicebreaker vid today or saving that for Wednesday? Oh mate, I think I'll be saving that for Wednesday, funnily enough. But yes, it's like, all I'll say, it's like I was watching the episode of The Office, but there was no actors except for one. David Brent. I wrote more than 3 cards. I don't think you did. Otherwise, people didn't hand them in then. Just tuned in, you chatting about the war. You chatting shit about the war. I'm just saying it was nice to not have an orc player being loud and annoying. It was good. It was great. But yes, there's been quite an interesting video come out over the weekend, which did make me laugh. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll probably talk about it in the morning news. Because I don't know if you knew, guys, I stream every single Monday in the evening and also the Wednesday during the morning from 10. We do the morning news. We do the morning news where we catch up with the drama of the week. The real drama of just like general internet drama. Not rules drama, not win rates drama like Eldar having a, 86% win rate this weekend? But we just talk about general drama in the community or wider. The wild guy instead tried to cheese his way to a tournament win at a local event that he and you and Mark were running, and you came first, second, third. People, when I steal your favourite player vote, make sure you hand it in. What can I say? What can I say? It's not a fixer, is it? I mean, yeah. Oh dear. So, if you don't know who I am, my name's Mikey. Thank you much for tuning in. If you're new here, make sure you say hello. What we do is we shoot the shit with chat for the first 30 minutes, as always. This is what we do. We thought we'd just chat, we have a natter, and then most streamers just carry on and they don't do anything with the stream, they just sit and chat. But I always have a topic. I've got lots to go through tonight. You should see how many tabs I have open. Okay? You should see I have, I think 19 tabs open. Ready to talk about all the topics we've got to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 3 that happened this weekend, our 3rd qualifier of the year. As mentioned, we do have the next event on sale now. There is like 5 tickets left, I think, available. But we're going to be talking about all the like weird rules interaction. So again, we're going to shoot the shit for another 10 minutes and then we'll get into it. Looking forward to Wednesday. Yeah, me too. I have nothing else planned. There's like a half-an-hour video I can laugh at, so it's gonna be great. I have 100% against Eldar this edition. Have you played any games, Josh? Or later all Ultramarines or Tyranids? In what regard? I work on the office on my own on Wednesday, so I get Hellstorm to keep me company. I'm glad, dear lad. I'm glad, mate. Feedback on the missions. That last mission, not a fan. You're not a fan of the last mission? Lads, I bullied all of the tournament players, okay? I bullied the tournament players because I made them play deploy servo scores. Look at this mission. It's so funny. Deploy servo scores. The objective markers in No Man's Land are servo scores. At the end of each turn, each of these objective markers can be moved 6 inches in any direction by the player that controls it. When moving objective markers, they cannot end on top of other objective marker or inside impassable parts of terrain. So basically, it's like push. It's like tug of war, but reverse. You're pushing rather than pulling. And the further it is, the closer it is to your opponent, the more points it's worth. But I did this round 5. I did this round 5. I was just like, you know what, lads? Fuck you all. People think running tournaments is terrible. I think it's the best thing ever. What you do is you lure everyone into a false sense of security. You're like, lads, round 4. Here's kill more, hold more. Alright? With an extra objective. Alright? Here's kill more, hold more. Nice and easy. Round 5. Get to fuck you deployed servo skulls. Oh, it's so funny. It's so good. Just watching everyone cry. All their brains are already fried and it's just melting out their ears. And I'm just like... I'm like the guy. The bully on Simpsons. I chose that and handed you the card and I think you just laughed. Yes, and then wrote it down. Oh, yes, it is the one where the objective markers move. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's such a dumb mission. And everyone was like, why did you make me do that? And I was just like, 1, it's really funny for me. And 2, I reckon when there's a GT pack, that mission's not even going to be in there. So you'll never play it. So you may as well try and enjoy it while you can. But it's such a funny mission. It's such a great mission. Just like, oh yeah, I played it with... Me and Elliot actually managed to play a couple of turns of a game yesterday. And we played the same mission. He was playing Night Zone. I was like, yeah, fuck off. Kicking the objective at him. Yeah, fuck off. Take that. Take that, moth. Need a gif of a bunch of space marines in a tiny car with Mikey laughing at them. There you go. You can use that as a gif. Let me turn the sound off so you can clip it. There you go. There you go. You're welcome. Last mission was ace. I still lost, but it was fun. I hope you enjoy your new Yu-Gi-Oh! Hobby day. I'm glad you had a good time, matey. Thanks for attending. But yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. It was a good laugh. How do you stub your toe for that mission? It's just what we needed. Just needed a laugh at the end of the day. But no, it was good. It was good fun. It was a good laugh. But yeah, again, I don't think that mission will be in a GT pack. I don't think they'll reprint that mission for like competitive games, just purely because like moving objective is so awkward to do in a tournament, especially if people are using like objective mats. So you know where the objective is, like having our like mats are available on the web store right now. Having the objective mats, so you know where the objective is and if you're claiming it or not, are great right up until you have to move an objective. Then it's really awkward. But I think it's fun. And again, you may as well try and play it before you can't play it, I think. But yeah, so we basically preset the mission for the players, and then we gave them all a secondary deck, which is fun. Super All-Stars Final, do it. I could. I have that power. I can do what I want. Imagine. Right, lads, you're playing for a cash prize. Everything's on the line. Golden ticket to Atlanta, Georgia. You're playing deploy servo skulls. And you play with an extra objective. Fuck it. The power's going to my head. Sorry. What do you think I've been doing for the last 3 years? Sounds like a proper test for the final. It was good. Every mission at Super All-Stars Final should be that mission. It should be. It really should. It would be good. It would be funny. Oh, what if it is? What if you did deploy server skulls every mission? So all the objectives move every mission, but as the round goes on, they move further and further. So it starts at like, it moves 3 inches when you hold it, and then at the end, and then round 2, game 2, it moves 6, and then it moves 9, then it moves 12, then it moves 15. Oh mate, imagine you're there and all the objectives are just flying across the board in the last round, and everyone just wants to die, and it's just like, just please make this stop, please. Why won't it end? Please make it. I just don't want this anymore. Oh, it doesn't reset between games. It doesn't reset. So they're just there. Wherever they are, you're done. Or adding the worst mission special rules to it. I guess an extra objective is pretty annoying when you gotta move them. Or delayed reserves, so they can't come in. And to make them play tactical. That would be just raw chaos. It'd be so good. It would be so good. It'd be so funny. We should do that. I can tell I've not spoken to anyone all day because my throat is so hoarse. Right, we're getting into the meat and potatoes now, man. Rise, my children, rise! That's how the Sidemen do it. How many gambits went off? I think there's like 4 gambits in total this weekend went off. George got the first one, but there's quite a few day 2. How much Eldar Knights were there at the event? There was 2 Imperial Knights and I think 4 Eldar players, but only 1 Wraith Knight between them. Shall I go midnight or race? Midnight or race? I think midnight. Is it all ready? Are we ready to talk about the games? The Gambit swing of the games in terms of win-loss. So I did a fun little rule where if you hadn't finished turn 3 with half an hour left in the round, I forced people to do a Gambit. But I also said they couldn't fight each other, they just had to try and Gambit. So they're the only real ones that actually succeeded. I don't think any went off naturally. I think people tried Gambits and failed when they tried to do them naturally. But I kind of forced people. Because you can talk through games, but it's always dog shit. And it's always like, yeah, I've got one guy here, so he'd kill your Imperial Knight. It's like, no, that wouldn't happen. So basically, people didn't make it to the end of the game. Or hadn't finished turn 3 with 30 minutes left on the clock. Bear in mind, most of the rounds are almost 4 hours long. Sunday was a little bit more on the ball, but Saturday, the first round was 5 hours. And then the second round was maybe 3.5, maybe 4 hours as well. And then if they hadn't finished, I just made them do a Gambit, and I said you couldn't fight each other. You can't shoot, you just got to do a Gambit. Good luck. You're not allowed to proceed as planned either. Saturday was on Mikey timekeeping, it was. Yeah. It was. But I had to, you know what I mean? It was people hadn't played 10th edition before. They hadn't played the cards. Everyone's trying to work out what the cards mean. They're cleanse. What does it mean? What does it do? And it was just you need that time for people to learn what's going on. So they were forced rather than players that being ambitious. A couple of players are being ambitious, but not a lot of the people being ambitious made it. Granted, I didn't have time to watch the event. We didn't actually stream it. We were planning on doing some casual games, but we had a few complications that got in the way, so we just didn't. But it seems to me that gambits are not that intuitive as they are right now, and people are more content with playing chicken. I think gambits can be pulled off, but it's only, again, all it does is it stops you getting a really hard loss most of the time. Most of the time. If someone's in a dominant position, they're going to remain in that position. The gambit stops you losing, like, as much. It was so much different. I was grateful for the extra round time. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad people enjoyed it. It was like, you know, it was for before I get into like all like the rules drama stuff. Like for one of my events, it was like quite chaotic in terms of organization. It was not how it would normally go, but there was so much new and so much weird shit going on this weekend. I feel like it went all right. Like round timers went out the window, but the event finished at the same time. Lunch arrived late, but people were just eating while having food, and then I gave them like an extra hour to play games and stuff. We had the game start at 12, and then the first round finished at like 5, I think it was, or something silly. I don't know, it was wild. But respectfully, you expected it to be chaos. Yeah, exactly. There was like, I expected the general game to be chaos. There's a lot of stuff that was happening around the event which made it more chaotic, but we did get through it. I think it was a good event overall. I haven't had any complaints, which is either really good because there aren't any, or really bad because people don't dare tell me. Did a lot of people play tactical and fixed secondaries? I think most people played tactical. There was probably a small handful of games that played fixed. But yeah, gambits aren't supposed to be like a game-winning scenario. It's to make your loss less harsh. If you're like 40 points down, if you score 30, at least you're only 10 points down, which can make a difference in rankings. You know, if you're ranking on battle points, which we do a lot of the time, that makes a huge difference there. Anyway, let's get that song going. Shall we talk about some event stuff? Is that what you want? Okay. The BCP has a judge report system? I didn't know that. I was looking here. Judge report. I've never seen that button before. How weird. Something to look at next time. There you go. If you tell an organizer, there's a judge report system. I don't know what it does. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, gamers. Let's say it's time for midnight. "40 lucky ducks attended All-Stars Heat 3 this weekend, an event hosted by yours truly. And it was also one of the only 10th edition events to happen ever, as it was one of the first 10th edition events to happen in the world, because I decided to hold an event just so happened on the same weekend that 10th edition actually came out. Jesus Christ, why am I an idiot? But I held the first 10th edition tournament this weekend. 40 players descended on Sanctuary Gaming Centre in Sutton in Ashfield, and only one champion left undefeated. It was a 5-round tournament using the Leviathan mission pack with no FAQ and just kind of guessing what means what. But it was great fun. It was great fun. It was it was interesting to go from 9th edition to 10th edition. There was a lot of things that was very weird that happened in all the games, such as very interesting, weird rules interactions that don't really have an FAQ. So today's video and today's stream, if you're watching live, thank you very much for tuning in. I stream every single Monday at 7 PM talking about competitive 40k and all of the drama around it. But we're going to be talking about all of the weird rules interactions that we found, and maybe we'll put them together and submit them for a designer's FAQ, because a lot of it does feel like it needs it. Because a lot of it doesn't make sense, and we kind of just have to make it up and go with it, and go with the flow, you know. So, but what did happen was there were 5 rounds, 40 players, and 3 players came out on top. 1 player was undefeated, and the other 2 players qualified for our final at the end of the year. In 3rd place, we had James Smith running Chaos Knights, which was a big war dog party even. And James's list was a Knight Desecrator, a War Dog Stalker, a Brigand, an Executioner, a Huntsman, a Carnivore, but also with some demonic allies of the Changeling and 2 units of Flamers, so like doing like actions and stuff like that. So congratulations to James. In 2nd, we had George with Drakari. So he had an Archon, a Homunculus, a unit of Cabalite Warriors, 3 units of Rax, a Raider, 2 Venoms, 3 single Kronos, 2 Ravagers, some Reavers, some Scourgers, and then 3 units of 2 Talos. And in 1st place, we had Josh with Imperial Knights. Now, he had a Warden, a Crusader, Canis Rex with 9 damage fists, and then 5 Warglaives. So, 2 Imperial Knights or Knights-based lists in the top 3, and a Drakari as well, which I think surprised a lot of people, because I think Drakari are kind of a bit of a sleeper army. They're very good at playing the missions, they're very fast, and they also have a lot of Dark Lancers, which is quite handy. Say his last name. No. But I'll leave a link to the BCP in the description so you can go and have a look yourself. But basically, those 3 players were the first 3 people to podium in a 10th edition event. Well, one of the very few people who podiumed at a 10th edition event ever, because it's only just starting to happen. But what I did find is, whilst organising this tournament, or whilst running this tournament with my team of TOs, we came into a lot of very strange, peculiar rules interactions and things that just came up that kind of didn't make sense, kind of made sense. And I thought I'd go through those with you today. And maybe we can find an answer, or maybe we can not find an answer, and we can try and forward this for an FAQ. So if Games Workshop's watching, £500. We've already set the deal. I've already set the deal. Can't have 4 brigands, aren't they? Battle line. George McGlough. McGlough. I don't know why the desktop body is so loud. I think I must have recorded something the other day. Okay, so I've got a list of notes to go through. We thought we could chat about it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things to go over, which are like not really clarified. There might be an answer and I might have missed it, and that's totally fine. That's totally okay. If we get it right, we get it right. But a lot of it is just doesn't make a lot of sense and doesn't really have a clear answer as far as I'm aware. £500 well spent for that FAQ, mate. Just had a little combat patrol game and it's not balanced. No, it's not. So, one thing that came up quite a lot was Fire Overwatch. Now, Fire Overwatch, you are aware of this stratagem. It's a very strong stratagem. And Fire Overwatch is essentially when your opponent, in your opponent's move or charge phase, after they set up a unit or makes a move or makes a charge, either before or after, you can shoot at them and you can only hit on 6s. Now, on the face of it, this isn't like a complex stratagem. This is a very simple stratagem. 1 CP, you shoot at a unit. Makes sense. However, there are so many abilities, such as the captain, the Primaris captain, or all captains in Space Marines, or custodies, or other, known as Rites of Battle, which is once per battle round. Let me move myself to the other side. Once per battle round, one unit from your army with this ability can be targeted by a stratagem for 0 CP, even if another unit from your army has already been targeted by that stratagem this phase. So what I found a lot of people were attempting to do was to use Fire Overwatch multiple times a turn. Hey, thanks for becoming a member. Joey Lines, thank you so much, buddy. Really appreciate it. That's really kind of you. That's very kind of you, Joey. We're only 9 members away from hitting the goal. No, we're not 8 members away from hitting the goal, so become a member today. Support the channel. It'd be really cool of you. I just want to hit 10. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it? 10's a cool number. Better than 2. Worse than 11, but 10's great. But, basically, a lot of people were trying to use abilities such as the following. Use a stratagem again, this phase. To use Fire Overwatch more than once. So you can move, your opponent can move 2 units, for example. They can charge with 2 units and stuff like that. But the thing is the Fire Overwatch stratagem has a very specific restriction of you can only use this stratagem once per turn. Which is like, it seems like a very harsh, not harsh restriction, like a very obvious restriction, but then the ability says you can use the stratagem again, even if it's already been targeted by that stratagem this phase, because stratagems are limited to once per phase. Okay, that's like a very obvious rule, and they cost CP, but you can use it for free and you can use it again. Now, no other stratagem has this restriction. Only Fire Overwatch, pretty much, unless it's like a specific faction one. So people were trying to use Fire Overwatch again. Now, the only other precedent is SDF Goodall. Thank you so much for becoming a member. They're one legend. Thank you so much, man. Look at that. Is it going to keep up? Member. No. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate SDF Goodall. It's very kind of you. You're a legend. You're a massive legend. Thank you so much. So the only precedent that we have to allow Fire Overwatch twice is Azerman, you know? So, Azerman, one of the Eldar Phoenix Lords, he has Tactical Acumen once per turn. You can target this model's unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem for 0 CP, and can do so even if you use that stratagem on a different unit this phase. Now, Azerman is the only one. Well, Azerman has the same ability, but it's very limited to Fire Overwatch. But it does specifically say you can use Fire Overwatch again. Because Fire Overwatch has a very specific restriction of you can only use it once per turn. But then the captain allows you to use a stratagem again. Does this ability overwrite this restriction? Or is Azerman very specific because he's the only one, unless there's another rule that's very similar. Is he the only one that allows you to Overwatch twice? You know? I don't know. Hexmarks say they are specifically can Overwatch twice. That's true. Pistol Pete for Necrons, he can Fire Overwatch again for 0 CP. So if he says Fire Overwatch again for 0 CP, then that's fine, right? No one's going to say a Zerman's unit can't Overwatch again because it specifically says Fire Overwatch. The question is do units that allow you to use a stratagem again for 0 CP overrule this restriction of you can only use this once? Now, I ruled this as 0. I ruled this as no. I don't think you can use Fire Overwatch twice unless the rule specifically says you can use Fire Overwatch twice. Does Codex or Index in this case overrule rulebook? Now, that's a very old phrase of like the Codex or Index or whatever overruling the rulebook, because nothing really, it technically does overwrite it because it says you can use a stratagem twice, because there's a rule in the rulebook that says you can only use a stratagem once per phase. But no other stratagem has this restriction, which is why it's an interesting one. Azerman very specific, I agree. Right to battle does not overrule a specific restriction. It overrules a specific restriction of allowing you to use the same stratagem twice. But can that same stratagem be one that says you can only use it once? Now, again, I don't think so. I said no. But the fact that we can have this conversation means it's not clear. Right? You know? Can you do it for 0 CP if you haven't used it before? Well, Pistol Pete, I can have a look. I don't have that open, Steve. God damn it. Steve's a member, so I go out my way for him. You should become a member as well. So we can get to 10. What's he called? Hexmark. Once per turn, one unit from an with this ability can be targeted with fire Overwatch stratagem for 0 CP, even if you already use that stratagem for a different unit this phase. No, it's always 0 CP. Because it says you can target it for 0 CP. And even if you've already used it this phase. That's fine. What counts as a charge move? Is that after they roll a move, or does failing a charge still get you shot? A charge move is after you successfully make the distance. So if you've got a 9-inch charge and you roll a 9, you've made a successful charge and you begin the charge move. So it's just before they actually start moving. So if they fail the charge, you can't Overwatch. It sounds like Overwatch is once per turn, and to clarify / FAQ, it should be stated as core stratagem, irrespective of anyone else's ability. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so basically, like, I think it's pretty clear, but other people don't agree, and that means it's not very clear, you know? Also, if you're coaching T, you can shout Michael like you're his mum during the tournament while clicking your fingers, and he'll help you set up your board as you're too over and can't read anymore. That is also true. As a phase is part of a turn, I think maybe the ability text includes Overwatch. Interesting. Can you use it in a different phase within the same turn? I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Overwatch is once per turn because it says you can only use it once per turn. No other stratagem has that same restriction. You know, like say core ones. Like this one is has a restriction, but it's not like you can only use this once per turn. There's hardly any other stratagems that have this restriction. So I think Fire Overwatch is limited to once per turn, but people think you can use it more than once because of Rights of Battle. But again, Azerman specifically says you can use Fire Overwatch again. Hexmark Destroyer says you can use Fire Overwatch again. That literally like calls it out. Yeah, that's way more limiting, but also it's the only stratagem with a very limited restriction. So letting a couple of units do it rather than every single unit has this ability probably makes sense. So I think this needs an FAQ. I don't think you can Overwatch more than once. If you can, you know, oh boy, Space Marines could Overwatch like 5 times a turn. Okay, if you can Overwatch more than once with captains, with Gulliman, with a couple of the units, there's Uriel as well. You can Overwatch 5 times a turn. Okay, just so you're aware. So, you know, if you want to play with fire, I'm ready to Overwatch. Get it? Fire Overwatch? Okay. I know, it was great. I can't wait to Overwatch 5 times a turn. Oh, dear. Anyway, right. That's Fire Overwatch. I think we need an FAQ. And we're going to be saying that for a lot of things. Okay? So the next one The next one. Let's have a catch up with chat and we'll do the next one. I agree with you, Mikey. If Rise of Battle were to overrule the Fire Order text, it should say irrespective of that restrictions. Yeah, that'd be a good way to write it. Can captains join Desolators? No. Desolators are the only ones that... No, I guess Gulliman. Gulliman could target any unit to use a stratagem for free. So you could Overwatch with Desolators. And then you can like actually use a Fire Overwatch stratagem on another unit of Desolators. And then two captains. Well, one captain can use it for free. And then Uriel Ventress allows you to spend a stratagem again. So you can use it twice. You can Overwatch 5 times. Alright? That's what I'm saying. 5 times a turn. Or we can do it once. It's up to you. I think I prefer once. There's a lot of gabbling to roll no six to waste your opponent's time. Decknull, come on! Be a green name so I don't have to insult you before I answer you. Become a member, Decknull, right now. But also, Oath of Moment, okay? Fate dice, okay? There's a lot of ways to get some free hits. Mikey, as we are this early into the stream, you, just make a community FAQ and balance data slate. Oh, mate, the shit I got last time, I'm going to try and avoid it. My missus wishes I could have watched more than 5 times. And that is time to move on. So let's talk about the faction that everybody hates. It's the Wave Serpent, everyone. A lowly Wave Serpent. And you might be thinking, wow, why is Mikey talking about a Wave Serpent? This unit isn't broken. This is really not broken whatsoever. Guys, what if I told you this is one of the strongest units in the game and can literally delete units without moving or shooting? What if I told you this single model can destroy entire units without moving or rolling a dice? Tell me more. Oh, I'll tell you. Let me tell you. Okay. Disembark rules, everyone. Oh, I think I missed one. That's why I'm confused. Oh, we'll move that one there. Is this right? I've got mixed up. I've missed the rule. The lowly wave serpent. Let's look at disembark. Okay. If a unit from your army starts your movement phase, I'm going to go here. Starts your movement phase, embark with a transport. That unit can disembark that phase. And now I'm not going to read all this to you. But all I'll say is, when you disembark, you have to place your models from that unit wholly within 3 inches of the base of the model. Because whenever we measure a range to a model, we measure from the base. That's very obvious. If a unit doesn't have a base, you measure to the hull, such as Land Raiders, Rhinos, Drop Pods. But as I just showed you, the Wave Serpent has a base. And a lot of the time, the base slightly sticks out of one side, either the back. Now, this is a prime example because you can place models near this base, okay? However, the only time we don't measure to the base is when some models are so large they overhang their base, so it's not physically possible for the bases to touch those of other models. Okay, so such as a monolith is on a base and it's so big that you can't actually see the base, but it is there. But a Wave Serpent does have a base that you can measure to. So as soon as you put a unit inside the Wave Serpent and then attempt to disembark, it is very likely that your unit can't actually fit wholly within 3. So just dies. Or they stay in the Wave Serpent, to which when it does, the Wave Serpent dies itself, you have to emergency disembark or the unit dies. And if you take a Wave Serpent and you don't put a unit inside, because you can't get them out, the Wave Serpent dies. So this is by far the strongest unit in the game because it literally deletes units or it deletes itself. It's great. And you find this for a few units. Not only the Wave Serpent, but also the Ghost Ark. That's like two main ones because they have access to the base in some form. Now, it actually creates a lot of weirder jank as well because not only do you measure from the base before disembarking and range of weapons and stuff like that, your opponent also measures to the base to get into combat. So what you can find is your opponent measures, like, let's say a deep strike 9 inches away, let's say over here. I really should have put this on paint, shouldn't I? I'm going to put it on paint. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, lads. MS Paint time. You know it's good. We have to drag out MS Paint. Right, here is the grid. I've got a grid. The grid's fine. We don't care about the grid. So your opponent with his red line, okay, is in a deep strike 9 inches away, okay, from your Wave Serpent because you're what are you? You're a Terminator. He's got his head, eye, his big fat back. He's got a shoulder pad, and then he's got a big fist. Terminator time. Okay, Terminator's a deep stroke 9 inches away, as you can see very clearly. If anyone knows how to get rid of this grid, that would be great because I hate it. View, grid lines. There we go. So, you've deep struck 9 inches away, and because you are a hover vehicle with a base that you can access, you have to deep strike within measurements from the base rather than the hull. Because you don't use the hull because the base is accessible. However, when you go to charge, you can't charge to here because you can't get to the base. The base, you're going to have to go around the hull and charge to here. So whilst you've deep struck 9 inches away, because of the front of the hull is in the way of the base, you actually have to charge round the back because you can't measure to here because it is physically possible because you only measure to the hull when it's not physically possible for the bases to touch other models, okay? So the only time you measure to the hull is when it's not physically possible. It is physically possible to hit the base here, but you have to charge all the way around, which is probably more than 12, which means no charge. There you go. You're welcome, everyone. We broke hover vehicles this week. So whilst this is a very specific example of you have to deep strike and then you can't charge, it does just create lots of weird instances where you measure line of sight from here, but then measure from here, for example. Just no, Mike. No, you're welcome. That's what I'll say. The base isn't accessible. It is accessible. It's there. The other one as well is a Ghost Ark. A Ghost Ark is a good prime example as well. Because you can access the base here. But then when you deep strike, you'd have to be 9 inches away that way, for example. So it's like the same problem, just because the model overhangs the base massively. Gladiator as well. Another problematic unit. I think this has got 360. Has this got 360? Can I go up and down? Oh, it does. Oh, it does let me look at the top. As you can see, for the Gladiator, same problem. You can access the base here, but if you charge around the front, that's not 9 away because you've got to go round. That makes sense? If it overhangs the base, it doesn't say entirely it overhangs the base, any point overhangs, it's fair game. No, it says you only measure to the hull. Some models are so large they don't overhang their base, so it's not physically possible for their bases to touch those of other models. In such cases, you measure to and from the base or hull of such a model, whichever is closer. But if it is physically possible, this doesn't work. You know? You've got to remember it says, if it's not physically impossible, you measure to the base or hull. It is physically possible on all 3 examples, so you measure to the base. What about a Ravager? Ravager, the same problem as well, because you've got a small base in the middle, and then you've got like a long hull. Base or hull, whichever is closer. Yes. Come on, Justin. You can do this. We're going to get there. In such cases, you measure to or from the base or hull, whichever is closer. For models when it's not physically possible for their bases to touch other models. It is physically possible, but it's just further away than you'd like it to be. I like how no one's mentioned all the Tau hover vehicles. I don't really know how big the hover vehicles are compared to their base. So let's have a look at Devilfish, is it? Devilfish is probably the same. Or maybe not, actually. See, a Devilfish... This paint job is getting chaotic now. Devilfish has a base, but it is not physically possible to get to it, so you measure to the hull. Okay. This is on a hover base. This is getting so chaotic. The layers and layers. On a base, but you can't get to it because of the hull. So on the Devilfish, you measure to the hull. But every other example I've given has the base sticking out, which means it's physically possible to get into base contact. So you don't measure to the hull, you measure to the base. Now, I see a lot of people being like, well, just measure to the hull. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's what I said. But also, you've got to remember that this is rules as written, doesn't work. And that's why we're talking about it. Okay. Thing is, they obviously didn't intend this. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. But of course not. But the thing is as written, you measure to the base and you can't get there if you charge at the front of it, which is just weird, you know? I mean, as written, yes, but the obvious intention is you can't physically reach the base in the direction you're charging, you measure to the hull. Again, Justice Bay, I totally agree. But intention and what is written are 2 different things. And that's why we're bringing it up. So they can go out there and go, oh yeah, that needs fixing. I'm not telling you all these weird shit so you can go to your next game on a Tuesday night when your mate's there with a beer and a pretzel in his hand and you go, sorry mate, that's not a 9-inch charge, it's actually a 17. It's like, that's not why I'm telling you. I'm telling you because it's dumb and we're talking about it. Charles Gould, thank you very much for becoming a member, you absolute legendary person. Charles attended the event over the weekend, had a great time, gave me loads of this content today. So thank you to you, Charles. You know? Again, all I'm saying is I'm not telling you this so you can go and abuse your friends. I'm telling you this because it's a weird rules interaction that doesn't technically work. So all we do is we shout as loud as we can. We shout as loud as we can, and I send a very polite email to my friends at Games Workshop. I don't think they're my friends at the minute because I keep saying the game's bad, but my friends at Games Workshop might listen and they might FAQ it because they don't have a playtesting team, and I'll finally get the $500 an hour I deserve. If you can't reach the exposed part, it's not physically possible to reach, so you use the hull. No, Neil, don't use start as well. It is physically possible. You didn't roll high enough. I failed the charge, so that means it's not physically possible, so I'm just going to move into combat anyway. Come on now. Stu Black did this just for you. This is free content for everyone. But obviously, the thing you should do is it should measure to a hover vehicle. A skimmer should have a special rule of like you measure to the hull, okay? Because otherwise, none of this works. This game doesn't work. You know? But Mikey, if you won't abuse your friends, are they really your friends? I abuse them in other ways instead. I love Warhammer and I love playtesting. Chancellor Palpatine. What if my model just lies down on the ground and pokes his sword under the base? Yeah, exactly. Why don't I just lie my models down? Right, we've got two models. Right? I'm 9 inches away. But if I just lie down and deep strike the base 9 inches away and then charge, well, the sword can make it to combat, so I'm in, right? Is that how it works? Because I measure until it's not physically possible because I didn't roll the charge high enough. Stop being so angry. You're so angry because I'm right again. I'm always right. That's your problem. Is a flying base a base? Yes. Is a flying base? Is a flying base a base? Oh my god, what am I dealing with? Is a flying base a base? It's called a flying base! What's wrong with you?
Late to the stream, but just wanted to thank you and the team again for hosting us.
Maxwell, thank you so much for the 10, mate. That's a really generous donation. Thank you so much, mate. Sorry, just raw chaos before you came, but now you're here, Max. It's much better. So thank you so much for attending this weekend. I hope you had a great time. It's a flying stand. Oh my god. Oh my god. Listen, chat. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Listen, you need to work on this, chat. Collectively, okay? You have to remember is I'm the streamer and you're the hive mind. If someone says something dumb and I read it, you're all dumb. You need to stomp it out, okay? These are just baseless accusations, for fuck's sake. Right, we're moving on. Anyway, hover vehicles need a special rule because technically you can really fudge charges, use multiple to deny charges. It's really bad. So I'm pretty upset, but that means this could work on same as jetbikes as well. Could a savvy rules layer point all those noses in the right direction and make charges harder into the bikes? Yes. Yes, they could. That's what green nades are for. We're the synapse creatures. You're the synapse, and everyone else is the fucking dumbos. But yeah, so like jet bikes and stuff can do it, but it's obviously a lot harder because they're smaller models and usually quite high. A lot of vehicles sit quite low because they're quite heavy, so people use the shorter stands, and that's where it's an issue. If a tree makes a 9-inch charge in the forest, does anyone care? Right, moving on. Moving on! What we got? We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay, a fun one I had this weekend was let's get the rules up because I've not pulled them up. Is when you have multiple units, like multiple different unit types together. So like, obviously we have the leader special rule. And a prime example of the problem I found was Tyranids. Now Tyranids have Tyrant Guard. So Tyrant Guard are infantry, okay? They're an infantry keyword. And obviously Tyrant Guard are designed to protect tyrants, such as, like say, the Swarm Lord or a Hive Tyrant, you know, or any type. Now, a Swarm Lord or Hive Tyrant is a monster. So what you get is a mix of infantry and monster. Now, for some rules interactions, it's feel bad for the Tyrannid, because when you have multiple units together, when they have a leader and a bodyguard unit, all of the keywords become one, which means a very harsh example of this working is when you have Tyrant Guard, which are infantry, and a Swarm Lord, which is a monster, and you shoot that unit with anti-monster, you get the benefit because you're shooting a unit with the monster keyword in there, because you essentially, they all share. Because it says here, some units can contain models that have different keywords. While this is the case, such a unit is considered to have all of the keywords of all of its models, and so it's affected by any rule that applies to units with any of those keywords. Okay? This is very important. As I said, if you have anti-monster and you shoot, if you shoot at a monster unit, even though there's infantry in there, you say you got anti-monster 2+, you've got you wound on 2s, even though you're technically shooting the unit first, then the monster. You're actually shooting it all together. They have the same keyword. Now, ruins, everyone, is about to ruin your day. Okay, so the ruins. Let's just get the page up because I've not got that one either. So ruins have movement. So ruins, as we all know, solid walls, everyone. Solid walls. So ruins have footprint, plunging fire, etc. But they also have infantry and beasts can move through this terrain feature, walls, floors, ceilings, gantries, chains, as if they were not there. A model cannot end up. So what we know, as we always say, infantry can move through walls as if it's not there because they can breach through. That makes sense. But as far as I'm aware, when you attach a monster to an infantry unit, they have all of the keywords. So do we now have monster infantry units that can both move through walls and can't move through walls at the same time? Movement is made model by model, and the bullet point in the FAQ. If you're evaluating rule per model, they don't share keywords. Let's have a look. Movement. Movement. The rule is done on model basis, not unit. Really? How do you know? Where would I be looking? The high tide gets stuck. The unit has all the keywords. The individual models only have their own. Interesting. Now, I didn't allow it, obviously, but I'm interested in the way it's clarified. Is it the same page? Is it on there? Have I just misread it? I think I'm going to the third one. If I'm wrong, that's fine. Obviously, that's what I want to be. But it's just something that came up and I was like, no, that's not right. Inventory and beast models can move through this terrain feature. Okay, so models. It clarifies models there. Widescape, such a unit is considered to have all of the keywords of all of its models and is affected by any rule that applies to units with those keywords. If a rule specifies it applies to a model/unit with a keyword, it only applies to a model unit with that keyword on its data sheet. Okay. So now we don't need an FAQ, we just need to read, right? Because I've read this bit. If they have it, they have all of the keywords. But it says, if a rule specifies it applies to a model/unit with a keyword, it only applies to a model/unit with that keyword on its data sheet. Is that right? I need to read that again. The entire unit can have sight. Thanks. If that unit is attacked by a weapon with anti-psychic output and anyone... The example doesn't work. The example makes me right. If If a rule only applies to models with this specific keyword, then it only applies to models in a such unit that have the correct keyword. Okay, there you go. So it's this line. This line that clarifies it. So terrain, we don't have infantry monsters that can and can't move through walls at the same time. Interesting. That's a good one. It's the case if you're targeting the unit versus effects on a single model. That is the case. Yeah, that's a good one. Well done, chat. Chat, collectively, you were right. Look at that. The hive mind worked together. You all worked together there. I'm very proud of you. So obviously I didn't allow this, but it's nice to have that like clarification. Because I didn't know about this bit. I've read this bit. I've done that thing where you read the first bit and then stop reading. We smart. I'm proud of you, chat. Can you see the confusion though? Where it's like the unit has the keywords, but then the models don't? Very odd. The idea that can effects can't just smash through a ruined wall is kind of absurd in itself. That's true. Chat right, Mikey, wrong. I'm not wrong. I didn't let them do it. Wait, so does this mean Abaddon doesn't give all the marks the unit is leading? He does. You don't need to read on. If it was important, they'd put it at the start of the entry. I agree, Mark. I agree, mate. Simple and not simple, literally. So there you go. So we clarified that one. So there is a case of, like, you can't have monsters that can move through walls, but also infantry that can't move through walls at the same time, which is very funny. Mikey knew the answer all along. He was just guiding chat to the right conclusion. Mate, literally every point I've got here. So an interesting one. So anti's very generous with multiple keywords. Yeah, anti's very generous, but movement isn't. So I'll continue to bring webbers against Admech robots. Yeah, having Castellan robots with an infantry guy in there makes the entire unit weak to anti, but it doesn't mean the Castellans can move through units. Move through walls, sorry. It's a really interesting one though. I feel like that's like, it's such a weird way to do it. You know, you think you'd be like majority, or like you're attacking the bodyguard first. Hello. You're trying to be subtle. People spot you, you know. Game is spaghettini. It is spaghetti, I agree. Anyway, the next one. The next one is Imperial Knights. There's actually two for Imperial Knights that I wanted to go through. Actually three. We're going to do Imperial Knights. Should I do Imperial Knights all together? Yeah, let's do Imperial Knights all together. Because, like, that just kind of, like, makes sense. Feel like the keyword things that keep coming up in different interactions. Yeah, I agree. It's just like because they've like had this system that's been so clear, and then they've gone right. Let's put two different units together, and it just doesn't work. That's because anti-targets units. The example some gave of putting Castellan robots in flies is odd, though. I thought transport capacity was by model. I imagine it is. Just stopping by to say hi. Don't spoil nights for me. I'm going to ruin him, mate. Ruin him. Ruin him. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for tuning in, mate. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to talk with some weird Necron interactions. Really weird Necron interactions, which I thought was interesting as well. So, with Necrons, you have reanimation, okay? Now, reanimation is quite clear, but it's at the end of your command phase. Each unit from your army with this ability activates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. Each time such a unit reanimates a wound, it adds models. It adds models or heals wounds. It heals wounds until you get everyone's full wounds, and then you add models instead. Okay, very, very simple. But also, Necrons have a stratagem called Protocol of the Undying Legions. So it's your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has resolved its attacks. You can choose one Necron unit from your army that had one or more of its models destroyed. And it says your unit activates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. When doing so, if being led by a character, it heals D3 plus 1 instead. Now, that's quite clear. That's very clear. You reanimate in your command phase, but you can also trigger it in the shooting or fight phase, and you can reanimate D3. Now, the problem is warriors have a rule called, what's it called now? Protocol, no, it's just called Undying Legions, I think. I think it's literally just called Undying Legions. I should have been more specific with Necron Warriors, because every character can attack to Warriors. Oh my god. Oh my god, why can every character attack to Warriors? Here we go. Their number is Legion. Each time this unit's reanimation protocols activate, it reanimates D6 instead of D3, unless it's within range of an objective marker, in which case it reanimates D3 plus 3 instead. Now, this is fine for the command phase, but does the unit entry override the stratagem? Because the stratagem specifically says you reanimate D3 or D3 plus 1 if you have a character. But their number is Legion says each time it activates, it reanimates D6. Which one is right? You know, if I use Protocol of the Undying Legions on a Necron Warrior unit, do I reanimate D3 or D3 plus 1? Or D6? Do I reanimate D6 plus 1? Or do I reanimate D3 plus 4 if I'm on an objective? You know? Wording implies it stacks with the reanimation protocol, so D3 from faction and D3 from strat and plus 1 for character. Now, that also came up. I don't think that's right. I think the fact that the reanimation activates implies how it reanimates, and you reanimate D3. I don't think it says reanimation activates, so you animate D3, and then you animate D3 or D3 plus 1. It's not 2D3 plus 1 if you're choosing a unit. That's just not right. But does it reanimate D3 or D6? That's the question. The strat says we activate reanimation protocols and get D3. Yeah, but without activating the reanimation protocols, there's no rules for adding models. So I don't think you add a D3 and then add D3. Or it would just say activate reanimation, you get 2D3 instead of D3. Would that be an example of out of phase ability not working? Because it doesn't specify a phase, like in your command phase, this reanimates D6 instead of D3, I'd totally agree. It'd be very clear. But I don't think it is clear because it says each time this unit's reanimation protocols activate, and obviously the strat says activate the reanimation protocol. You know? I think the D3 is replaced. Exactly. Raw, I would go with what's written in the strat. All honestly, they just derped rewriting it in the strat. Yeah, I said it doesn't interact. This rule doesn't interact. You reanimate D3 or D3 plus 1. I think they could write it either way. You know? Now, does it say you get D3 because it's clarifying you don't activate reanimation protocols as normal? Or is it saying D3 for something else? Because it's just that's how many you normally get. So their ability will kick in and replace the number anytime reanimation protocol is specifically called out. But also, the stratagem calls out a specific amount, you know? It doesn't say this unit reanimates. It says you reanimate and it's D3. I think it's being specific. I agree. I think it's being specific as well. But it's like, it's not clear. It's just a weird one, right? It's very weird how it's so unclear. It's weird. It's weird how unclear it is. It should be obvious. I think because it says the reanimation activates in the strat, the warrior rule overrides a D3 on the strat, and they get D6 when it activates. So D3 plus 1 and D3 plus 4 if near an objective. So you can look at it either way, because you could say it activates, so it gets D6. But reanimation protocols is how they heal. That's how the rule works. It doesn't say add D3 wounds. It says activate reanimation protocol. But Undying Legion says you reanimate and reanimate D3 wound. So is this specifically saying you reanimate D3 wounds? Is it saying you only D3 or D3 plus 1? Or is it saying this is what you get because you're just reanimating? You just happen to get D3 plus 1. Because I don't think the intention here was warriors to be reanimating more than they would do in the command phase. You know? The strat is too specific. I agree. I agree. But let's make it even crazier. The Canoptech Reanimator. The Reanimator says, while a friendly unit is within 12, each time that unit's reanimation activates, that unit reanimates an additional D3. Now, I actually ruled both of these rules different ways. So I said the stratagem overwrites the number, so warriors only reanimate D3 or D3 plus 1 because that's what the stratagem says. However, reanimation is still activating, so the Canoptech Reanimator should probably interact. But I don't know! It's not clear, should it? Maybe? That seems pretty clear, but if you start going, oh yeah, the warriors get D3 plus 4. Now it's 2D3 plus 4. That's ridiculous. You can get 10 models back every time. No. No, I don't think that's right. So I think the stratagem is like specific. And because it's specific, that's what it's supposed to be. And I think the reanimator does quite clearly interact with that stratagem. But does it? And that's the question. Does it, chat? Does it? I don't know. D3 plus 4, please kill me. Oh man. So again, it's just really weird. It's just a really weird interaction. It just doesn't make sense. It's like it's unclear. It's not obvious, and it should be obvious. You know? So I think it would be maximum D3 plus 1 with the character, and then an additional D3 because of the reanimator, but it's not clear. Isn't this an out of phase thing? There's no phase. Didn't I just say this? There's no phase. It just says when it reanimates. You know? Warriors. Oh god. What's it called? Their number is. There we go. This isn't a phase. It just says each time it unit reanimates. Each time the reanimation protocols activate, it reanimates D6 instead of D3. This is no phase. If he said in the command phase, you'd be like, yeah, the stratagem is clearly what it does. But it doesn't have that. So it's not mega clear whether Protocol of the Undying Legion is D3, D3 plus 1, D6, D6, D3 plus 3, or 2D3 plus 3, or 2D6 plus D3. Oh, fucking... If the reanimator activates, the warrior ability has to as well. I don't know. No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Because the stratagem specifies how much it reanimates by. Read the normal reanimating army rule. If your army faction is at the end of your command phase, each unit from your army with this ability reanimates, activates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. That's the same wording. Oh shit, that's the same wording. That's exactly the same wording as the stratagem. It's like copy-paste. Your army protocols reanimates and reanimates D3 wounds. So does that mean you do get the warriors interacting? Because that specifies how much. Micah was wrong. No, I'm not wrong. We don't fucking know. It doesn't have an obvious answer. So if you're animating opponent's shooting phase, it's out of phase. Yes, but the rules don't have a phase. It says something says when you shoot in your shooting phase, you hit on 2s, and then you overwatch. That doesn't react because it says that only works in your shooting phase. It says command phase out of rules phase applies. Does it? Does it? No, because a lot of rules say in your shooting phase you can do this. They don't apply because that's out of phase. But it is out of phase. But the special rule doesn't have a phase linked to it. It's not out of phase because the warrior ability doesn't say in XX phase. That's what I'm saying, Charles. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't say, in your command phase, when this unit reanimates, you get D6. It doesn't say that. The rule says when activated to shoot, that is still shooting phase action. Yeah, but I said when it shoots in your shooting phase. Chat is wrong about the out of phase stuff. I think chat is wrong about the out of phase stuff because special rules that are out of phase is referring to rules that say in your fight phase you hit better while you're in combat, or in your shooting phase you get +1 to hit if you're ranged stationary. I don't know. Let us have this. You've been FTA for 2 editions. No, you haven't. That's full of shit. One answer is very clear. The wording isn't clear. That I agree. But yeah, Necrons are dominating tournaments for like 6 months last year. So out of phase. I don't think out of phase rules apply here. I don't think the limitation of out of. Well, we need to look at out of phase, don't we? God damn it, chat. Why don't we just like agree with me that the rule's really broken? Like broken because it doesn't physically work. Well, was it just phase? 93 references to phase? Where's out of phase, chat? What's the subheading? Out of phase. I searched that. Some rules allow a model or unit to move, shoot, charge, fire outside of a normal turn sequence. For example, the fire overwatch stratagem enables you to shoot in the opponent's turn as if you were shooting phase. When using out of phase rules to perform an action as if it were one of your phases, you cannot use any other rules that are normally triggered in that phase. In that phase. Use fire overwatch stratagem to enable a whirlwind from your army to shoot as if it was your shooting phase. The whirlwind has the pinning bombardment ability, which is used in your shooting phase after this model is shot. Because fire overwatch is an out-of-phase rule, it only allows a whirlwind to perform a specified action, in this case, shooting as if it was your shooting phase, and does not trigger any other rules that would normally be used in your shooting phase. This means the whirlwind's pinning bombardment ability has no effect while resolving these attacks, and you could not use any of the stratagems that are used in the shooting phase to affect those attacks. Right, let's double check the whirlwind to see exactly how it's worded. We're going to do this together, chat. We're going to do this together. Whirlwind. So the whirlwind, I'm Charlie Day. It says, oh God, I'm pressing the wrong button. In your shooting phase. It specifically says in your shooting phase. This triggers in your shooting phase. It would not trigger if you were overwatching. But warriors, oh my God, their number. Give me the number. They doesn't say in the shooting phase. It just says each time it activates. You're activating in any phase, it's still activating. I'm right. Does that mean sustained hits wouldn't trigger? No, sustained hits is whenever it shoots. It doesn't say in your shooting phase. It doesn't say in your shooting phase. I'm right. I'm right, it doesn't work. But all we know is we still don't know whether they get D3, D6, 2D3, 2D6. None of it works together. How about rules that say when this unit is selected to shoot, they work fine because it's selected to shoot? What's the verdict? I don't fucking know. That's what I'm talking about, it does. I don't know. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because it needs clarification. Mikey's right, but it doesn't feel good that he's right. That's true. 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 But normal ability is triggered in the command phase. Yeah, but that ability is triggered in the command phase, but the ability to get more isn't phase locked. So I don't know. So I don't know. I think it needs clarification whether the stratagem allows the Necron Warriors or any unit to actually change the value. Because the value is set at D3, but also reanimation value is set at D3, and this overrides it, the core rule of reanimation. The stratagem has the exact same wording of how reanimation and reanimates D3. This unit overrides that in the normal command phase. Does it override that when you activate it via the stratagem? Does the reanimator interact with the stratagem as well? The reanimator feels more clear, but the Necron Warriors isn't quite as clear. How many times can Necron Warriors activate the reanimation protocols if it isn't phase locked? Twice a turn? Because you're going to use stratagem once? What if you have 3 reanimators? Thankfully, they don't fucking stack. Now, the other fun one, chat, is also Necrons. One I realised when I was working with Steve is Crypto Thralls. Now, Crypto Thralls have a special rule called Systematic Vigor. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6 on a 3+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model unit has finished making attacks, and it is then removed from play. Sounds fine. Sounds fine. Okay. Now, Crypto Thralls, at the start of the declared battle formation, called Cryptech Retinue, this unit can join one other unit from your army that is being led by a Cryptech infantry model. A unit cannot have more than one Crypto Thralls unit joined. If it does, until the end of the battle, every model in this unit counts as being part of the bodyguard unit, and that bodyguard unit starting strength is increasing accordingly. Now, what you can do is attach the Cryptex to a unit of 20 warriors with a Crypto Thralls with the Cryptex, sorry. Attach the Cryptex. Said it wrong again. Attach the Crypto Thralls with the Cryptex to a unit of 20 warriors. And what that does, it confers the entire unit fight on death on a 3+. Now, you can do it to warriors, you can do it to any unit. I don't know what other units the Cryptex can attach to. But you can attach Crypto Thralls to warriors and the Cryptech in there. And it gives the entire unit fight on death. So what you can actually do, what you can actually have, is a Crypto Thrall dying, fighting on death, and then using the overpowered reanimation stratagem of the Necron Warrior to bring back the Crypto Thralls for them to die again and fight again. Can you attach them to Lich Guard? Lich Guard would probably be a better shout. Aha, there we go. So you can attach them to Lich Guard. Lich Guard are quite good in combat. So you can attach the Crypto Thralls with the Cryptech to Lich Guard. Come on now. To Lich Guard, and they're quite good in combat with their Hyperphase Swords or War Scythes with devastating wounds. So you can have the Lich Guard fight on death. You can have one of the Crypto Thralls die, and then they reanimate and they come back. Would they get to fight on death, reanimate, which is after the attacks are resolved, then fighting again, provided they could pile in? Yes. What you can have is the Crypto Thralls or warriors. Let's say warriors, it's just for clarity, but the warriors can fight on death because they're being attacked. You can then activate Protocol of the Undying Legions, the strategy we've just gone over, to heal more warriors for all of them who just died, who fought on death, to fight again in the same phase. So everybody in that unit can fight on death and then get back up. So yeah, you can have multiple warriors or Lich Guard or whatever. Let's say a reanimator, some Lich Guard, leading by a character, the Cryptech. A unit of 12 Lich Guard, because it's 10 Lich Guard and 2 Crypto Thralls. Fighting on death. Getting back up and fighting again. But yes, everyone is correct. I think we all agree on that one. It's pretty dumb. Because every special rule is conferred onto the unit. But yeah, 2 little Crypto Thralls. I think they're like 40 points or something. Maybe 50. I don't know. I can't remember. It might even be cheaper. 2 little Crypto Thralls make all of your combat units really broken. Excuse me. 40 points. 3 unit of that, please. Yeah. 120 points to make all your units fight on death. Very, very good. Really, really strong. You do have to take 3 Cryptex, though, and then 3 units to attach it to, but like 1 or 2 units is quite fun. Wouldn't say broken. It's pretty strong, and whether that's intentional is like questionable, but it seems quite clear, but whether that's they want it to be clear or not, you know? Too bad you have to buy them in the Indomitors box. That's also true. Yeah. Can I attach those to Blight Lords? Oh, mate. If only. If only. How much do they cost? 40 points, someone said. But you know what is cheap? Chat? You know what is cheap? Becoming a member. Okay? You can become a member right now for as little as £1.99 a month. We are 6 away from the stream member goal. You can join our Discord if you are a member and join all of the spaces for as little as £2 or £1.99. That's $2.52 if you're in it for the Freedom Land and using Freedom credits. You can support me if you enjoy what I do. You can join the best community on the internet because all they do is insult me, and I know you'd love to do that. So consider becoming a member today. That'd be really cool of you. That'd be really, really cool of you. Again, little as £2. With combat be badder in 10th edition, let it be broken for now. It's probably broke because it sounds like they've done stuff with Deathwatch and Desolation units. What was the Desolation unit with Deathwatch? Also, Trolley Cleaner, thank you very much for gifting that membership to Neil. Well done, Neil. You've been gifted a membership. We're just 5 away. We're 5 away on the goal, everyone. Let's see if we can hit 10. Only 5 to go. That's £10 collectively. Hey! Oh, it's the same one. Well done, Neil. You got it twice. Let's end that. Oh, God. It's ended all now. Stream goal. Members. Goal amount. 10. Up to 5. I can't put 26. It doesn't catch up with the gifter for some reason. There we go. Up to 5. Is the goal for Amble t-shirts? Here's Hellfire and Desolators. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference though. I guess like being able to win them on twos is nice. Does a membership come with a free FAQ? It does, because the members are paying for this FAQ. Aaron! Aaron, let's go! Thank you so much for the 5 gifted! Oh my god! Aaron, that's so kind of you, mate. Members. Thank you so much, Aaron. You are a legend. Look at that. We got 10 members, because I spelt it wrong. Thank you so much, Aaron. That's really kind of you, mate. That's very kind. There we go. We're up to 10. Let's get some hypey chat for Aaron for the 5 gifted. Lyle, Mad Bassist, David Campion, and Revelo. Make sure, and James, make sure you say thank you to Aaron for the gifted membership. Buy yourself a coffee. I really appreciate it, Aaron. It's very kind of you, mate. Really kind of you, buddy. Thanks for that big fat gifted memberships. Look at that. Make sure you say a big thank you to Aaron. Aaron the Chad. Not to get outdone by Ginger Steve for the 10 gifted. I won't be beaten except at 40k. Oh, boys, thank you so much. Look at that, another 10 members. Oh, Aaron and Steve, look at you guys. You are legendary people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really generous of you both. Steve, thank you so much for the 10 gifted, mate. Really appreciate it. Let's make sure you say thank you, Lucas, Tom, Manifold, Riverside, Stuart, Jam T, Dunkelzan, Tom, and Leston. Make sure you say thank you to Ginger Steve for that big fat 10 gifted. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Honestly, I really hope you enjoy everything I do, and the support means a lot. I know I keep going on about it, but man's got to earn a living, you know. And as long as you feel like you're enjoying yourself, and I feel like you're not wasting your time, all I can say is thank you. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Very, very kind of you guys. Sorry about my voice. It's been a long weekend. But yeah, if you've just become a member, make sure you join the Discord. It's free to join anyway, but you do get full access if you are a member. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Really, really kind. Really, really generous of you all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Obviously, we've had super chats as well. We've had tips as well. So thank you so much. None of it goes unnoticed. Everything goes back into the channel. Supports me. Supports the gear I need. You know, makes good content. And it keeps me afloat. So thank you, guys. When will 25 round markers be back in stock? I'm hoping soon. I'm still waiting for the delivery. Gaz and Mega Knobs have no Mega Armor keyword. Mega Knobs only have it in the fluff text. So at the moment, I can put Gaz plus Makari plus 6 Mega Knobs in a single truck. That's impressive. Well done. Well done. Ah, excellent. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Right, I've still got a couple more to go through. We've got one more before we go on to nights. Yes, one more before we go on to nights. So, let me tell you about this funky one. Now, Leviathan, or 10th edition as a whole, but the Leviathan mission pack has cards like this. This is the Deploy Teleport Homer card, and there's a bunch of cards that are very similar because 10th edition got rid of actions. Now, actions is a function we had in 9th edition. For a unit doing something other than fighting, it's doing something to score your points, essentially. And it says, in your shooting phase, you can select one unit from your army that is not battle shocked and is eligible to shoot. And then it can do this to score points. Okay? Aaron! Oh my god, Aaron! Thank you so much for the 5! You've matched Ginger Steve. You've matched Ginger Steve there. Oh, mate, thank you so much, guys. That's really kind of you. Make sure you say thank you, EB, Zommel, DC, Think For Yourself, Mikey Green. Make sure you say thank you for that gifted membership by Aaron. Again, as I've said, you can join the Discord for free now for a whole month. And if you want to continue it, you'll have to come back and become a member. Let's call it a draw, Steve, says Aaron. Well done. Well done. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you, mate. That's very, very kind of you. Very, very generous, guys. Really, really generous. Thank you so much. You are very, very kind, both of you. Did anyone do an action with a Spore Mine? Oh, yeah, mate. Every game. Every game. Every turning player. Spore Mines everywhere. Spamming actions. Thank you so much, guys. I'm here listening and I hear my name. Other DC. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. However, what was I saying? I was talking about second. Yeah, so they got rid of actions as a mechanic. So, like, actions aren't a thing anymore. They've got this new one, which is like an action, but it's on the card specifically. And it says, in your shooting phase, you can select one unit to shoot that from your army that is not battle shocked and is eligible to shoot. Now, a unit is eligible to shoot even if it doesn't have a gifted member. Steven, thank you so much for the 5, mate. Oh, boy. The gifted war has begun. We're up to 30 members now tonight. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, Ginger Steve. Aaron says, fuck's sake. Listen, if you're going to start the war, I mean, now's the time, right? Now's the time. You guys can fight. I take all the money. But you guys can fight. Everyone becomes a member. It's great. I take all the money. But as a community, we grow. I take all the money. Alex Fowler, Benjamin Dustin, Ultra Miners, Andrew Ibbotson, and Esprat. Make sure you say thank you to Ginger Steve for those gifted memberships. And again, make sure you join the Discord. I think I started some beef. I think you did. Thank you so much, guys. Both of you, honestly. A special thank you to Steve for winning the war. Winning the battle, I guess. But has the war been won, Aaron? No pressure. And I'm going to stop. I feel bad. I'm joking. Don't gift any more. It's okay. That's plenty. That's plenty, guys. I really appreciate it. I don't need any more. That's fine. That's fine. That was a joke. It's just a joke. I'm just trying to make you laugh. Anyway. I'm trying to start this sentence like 4 times. I've started this sentence like 4 times now. Okay. So, actions are gone. In your shooting phase, you can do this action instead of shooting. Basically, you have to be eligible to shoot, which means any unit that has just made a normal move or remain stationary, is not engaged in combat, is eligible to shoot. Now, if you don't have a gun, it is specifically called out that you are still eligible to shoot, even though you don't have a gun, because you are still a unit that can shoot, okay? But the thing is, is what if you are in combat? Now, normally, you aren't eligible to shoot. Okay? Because you're in combat, in engagement range. But what if I told you every Space Marine unit can do actions in combat? Because they are equipped with pistols. If you have a bolt pistol or equivalent, you are eligible to shoot. If a unit contains any models equipped with pistols, that unit is eligible to shoot in its controlling player's shooting phase, even while it is within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Mercenary, thank you so much for the 5! Mercenary Q! Oh shit, we have a new player in the ring. Alex, Carl Hodgie, Case Dalton, Joe Flavel, and I-Chan. Make sure you say thank you to Mercenary Q for those 5 gifted. Holy shit. That's 35 tonight? Holy footballs. That is 35 new members. That's crazy. May the war continue till the greys are gone. That's it. Thank you so much, Mercenary Q, for that 5 gifted, mate. That's very, very kind of you. Everyone's been very generous. You're all being very, very generous. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, honestly. I was trying to get 10. We've hit 35. That's crazy. Thank you, guys. Honestly, I realize I've got a small screen. Thank you, everyone. Listen, that's plenty tonight, okay? We don't need any more, okay? No more. No more members. Thank you so much. If you just become a member, join the Discord. If you just gifted a bunch of members, I love you. But we can stop now. Okay? I only wanted to hit 10. We've hit 35. That is plenty. Thank you so much. He ain't crying, keep up the pressure. No, stop it. We don't need any more. Thank you so much. You are all legendary. I really appreciate it. Again, if you just become a member, consider becoming a member. Make sure you join the Discord as well and link your account. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Mercenary. Mercenary, I just said stop. Stop it. Stop it, I've got a show to do. I've got a show to... Aaron! Aaron! No! Aaron! Stop it!
Gifted members.
What are you doing? I'm just... Oh, my God. I said stop! Please stop, he's already dead! Oh my God. Thank you so much, Aaron and Mercenary Q. Nico, thank you. Make sure you say thank you to Mercenary Q. And Aaron, Aaron, thank you for the 10. So Justin, Simro, Dave, Michael, Gladys, Jesse Bab, DSX, Dangron, Lehman Russ, Emperor's Lion, and Steve Burton. Make sure you say thank you to Aaron for the gifted membership. Jesus Christ, Aaron. Now my bank account is having to cry. Mate, please don't get yourself in trouble. Please don't get yourself in trouble. I'm just... Oh no! Oh no! Steve! Steve, stop! Please stop! I think we're at 50. Is that 54?
Rejoined.
Let me check. That's 56 new members. It can't keep up. It can't keep up. I'm having to do it manually.
Member.
I said 10. We're at... I said 10. What are you doing to me? Oh my God. Thank you so much.
Member.
Thank you so much, guys. Jesus Christ. I'm basically reading Warcom again. You're doing it. I'm just trying to read. I'm here to read, not to say thank you to Andrew Weller, Colin Mickleway, Victor, Wooly, Josh, Fifi's World, Prime Lever, Clown Hater, Docs, David, and RB. Make sure you say thank you to Ginger, Steve for the 10 gifted. Mikey could buy another Rave Night after this. I wish I could. They're out of stock. Thank you so much, everyone.
Gifted members.
Ginger, Steve, Aaron, Mercenary Q, thank you, and Trolley Cleaner. Thank you for gifting all those memberships. Jesus Christ. Mercenary, stop. Stop. Stop.
Member.
Please stop. That is another gifted from Mercenary Q. Jesus Christ. That's 57. I don't think I've ever had this many members. Never mind in one night. Dark Magpie Studios, make sure you say thank you to Mercenary Q. This is what happens when chat reanimates memberships to the stratagem near an objective marker. Boys, thank you so much. Honestly, you are all so kind. I'm a green now. Wait, what have you done? There's no going back, Dark Magpie. You gotta remain a green name. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, really appreciate it. If you've been gifted a membership, make sure you say a massive thank you to who gifted you that membership. You are all legendary. See, all you need to start is a gift war. Okay, right. Every week now, who's the gifter war? Who's going to win the gifting battle? That's what we'll do, right? I'm not going to do that. That's cringe. They tried to make sure everybody's a member before your stream ends. We're getting there. We're getting there. Thank you so much, honestly. What is that? A quarter of the chat have become members tonight. If you weren't already. Thank you so much, honestly. Honestly, guys, really appreciate it. I'm just waiting for the notifications to stop, and then we can go back into it. I don't want this to be like, just like throughout trying to talk. Thank you, guys. Honestly, you are legend. All these gifted, I'm still grey. Decknull, you have to do it manually, mate. Right, okay. So, what we've learned is, I love you all, but what we've learned is if you have a pistol, like most Space Marines, you can do actions in combat. But also, as people have pointed out, if you move your eye slightly to the left, you can see if you have an assault weapon and you advance, you are still eligible to shoot, which means you can advance and do actions as per... Ooh, wrong one. As per the mission cards, which all have basically the same wording, which is in your shooting phase, you can select one unit from your army that is not battle shot and is eligible to shoot. Which also means vehicles and monsters can do actions in combat as well. Which is very weird. It doesn't feel like you should be able to do actions in combat whatsoever. Because you're supposed to be eligible to shoot. And you're only eligible to shoot if you're not in combat. If you're not in engagement range. But they wrote the rules specifically to say if you are in engagement range with these certain weapons, or if you advance, you still shoot. And Marines can do it in Dev Doctrine. Yeah, they can advance and still shoot. So the entire army can advance and shoot and advance and do actions, essentially. Do they like proofread? No. No, they don't. But yeah, so yeah, there's loads of ways armies can do actions for secondaries whilst advancing, whilst doing it in combat, whilst falling back from combat and stuff like that. Show how this works again. Just to clarify, in your shooting phase, you can select one unit for your army that is not battle shot and is eligible to shoot. Whilst you're in engagement range, you are not eligible to shoot unless you have a pistol. Because if you have a pistol, that unit is eligible to shoot its controlled player's shooting phase even while it's in engagement range. If you advance, you are not eligible to shoot. However, if you have an assault weapon, if a unit advances turn and contains any assault weapons, it is still eligible to shoot. If you are a vehicle or monster, you are still eligible to shoot whilst in engagement range. You know? So that's how it works. There's loads of rules where you can be in combat and still shoot, which means in combat, you can still do actions if you have that rule. Or you can fall back and do actions, which usually doesn't make sense. Also, Mercenary, don't worry. All support is mega appreciated, so thank you so much. With the las pistol and the sergeant. So a las pistol and a sergeant lets the guardsman do actions in combat. Which is just a bit weird. Assault weapons and stuff seems fine, but not combat. I agree. But I also don't think you should be able to do it anyway. I think it should say rather than having it as eligible to shoot, if a unit is not in engagement range and hasn't advanced his turn. So I'm the winner of chat, but loser of the event. Yes, Steve, you've definitely gifted the most memberships tonight. Thank you, mate. Well done. You are a legend. But yeah, so it doesn't sit right with me. I don't think that should be allowed, but as per the rules, it is. Again, a lot of this, I'm not trying to say this shouldn't work. I'm trying to just say this doesn't work. I don't really know how to fix it. Should it work like that? We need clarification. They could have also kept actions. They could have kept actions, yeah, but they just decided to get rid of it and write it on every card instead. Am I the only one who finds the wording of area denial secondary weird? Yeah, area denial is written really weirdly, but it does kind of make sense. It's basically you get points for being in the middle and them not being there unless they're really close. Okay, so that's the mission secondary rules, which is also, again, very, very weird. Universal rules is cool, but not for cards. They've done a lot of universal special rules, but there's also a lot of rules that a lot of units have that aren't universal, such as sticky objectives. That not of those, it doesn't. Sticky objectives is a rule that loads of armies have, but it's not a universal special rule. It's a unique one in every army, which is very weird. So. But anyway, let's talk about knights for one of the last ones. Let me just close my tabs I don't need because we're nearly out of tabs. So, super heavy walker is a special rule for the Imperial Knights. That's what we're going to talk about next. But yeah, actions are really dumb basically. But super heavy walker is a special rule from the Imperial Knights. We've obviously talked about like towering being really, really strong and arguably much more broken than it needs to be. We had a special rule where we basically said all bottom windows block line of sight, so there's no windows in bottom levels, which I feel like probably helped a little bit, but also the knight still won. So you know, you can't win them all. But super heavy walker, each time model with this ability makes a normal, advance or fallback move, it can move over models and terrain features that are 4" or less in height as if they were not there. Now this 4" or less in height is quite brutal. Is quite brutal. And the problem with having this is it doesn't clarify whether it can move over parts of terrain that are 4" in height or whether the maximum height is less than 4 so it can move over them. If you're trying to move a knight over a wall or a low like rock or something like that and it's less than 4", that's fine. But what about when you have terrain such as this one, for example, where you have a level, this is our tournament for the weekend, you have a level and you have a second level, but you have like another wall here. Now this part of the building is less than 4", but this total part of the building is more than 4". Was Josh there? He could have brought Death Guard and done okay. I mean, true. So what is the correct way of like what part of the building or terrain feature are we measuring? Is a feature, a terrain feature, part of the terrain, or is it a terrain feature, the terrain as a whole? You know? Does terrain feature mean this building? You know? Does a terrain feature mean this building that I'm holding? Is this a terrain feature? Or is, like, this lower part here a terrain feature? Is this sticky bit a terrain feature? Because that's a feature of the terrain. But is it a terrain feature? You know? I don't know. So what you could have is multiple instances of these crates being walked over. They're less than 4" high. That's fine. But this part of the terrain could be walked over. Because is this the terrain feature? On this one, can you walk over this section of the crate because it's a single crate? Can you walk over these corners of the building because they're lower than 4", you know? This one isn't a great example, but that's fine. Again, this one has the similar L. We have like a lower part of the ruins, so they're less than 4. Can you walk over this? Can you walk? You can obviously walk over these walls because they're less than 4" in height. But can you walk over this section? Can you walk over this part of the crates because they're in a stack. You know? What is a terrain feature? You know? Is a feature part of the terrain, or is it the whole part of the terrain? Like the whole terrain piece? You know? Now, I've ruled it as the terrain piece is a feature. So, like the entire building, if the entire thing is less than 4 inches, you can move over it. But also, I've said that if you have crates in a stack, you can't walk over the crates because it's a stack, it's one terrain piece. Got enough zone throws. Yeah, exactly. I know, it's quite funny that one, isn't it? It's got quite a few there. I think it's 12. I think it's maybe got... Yeah, it's got 12. But yeah, so like, what's a terrain feature here, you know? Is like the crates... Are all the crates one terrain feature? Is a single crate a terrain feature? Is a bit sticking out the feature of the terrain? I don't really know. So again, I ruled it as like measured to the highest point of a feature, and crates in a stack are one piece. So everything's one piece of terrain, and it's all... You have to be able to go over all of it rather than a part of it. Measure the tallest part of each entire terrain piece. That seems to make the most sense, but we don't know what terrain feature is. I'm going to have a look in the designer's commentary to see if they say terrain feature. Okay. So, benefit of cover when not in terrain. Fly. He's talking about on-terrain features. So, let's have a look. We'll have a look together. Why not? So, it says... ground level. Some rules refer to models being at ground level for purpose of being targeted, or for determining whether models can be set up on higher levels of terrain features. Again, doesn't really clarify what a feature is. If you are using terrain features within an integral base, so maybe a feature is the whole piece of terrain. We're moving over terrain through the air. This model can fly. We're moving it over terrain features. So they say terrain, and then they say terrain features. Features doesn't sound like a real word anymore because I've said it so many times. Moving over uneven terrain features through the air when flying. So this says you measure each point. These ones can fly and all moving over terrain that is not uniform. It doesn't say feature in this entire paragraph. Or it does, it says it there. Model B needs to move over a higher part in order to clear the height of the terrain feature at a point where the base will fit. Oh. When models, objective markers, and terrain features are placed onto the battlefield... So that says that kind of says set up battlefield, kind of clarifies that a terrain feature is a piece of terrain. Like one feature is one piece of terrain, you know? But it doesn't clarify that a terrain feature is a terrain piece, you know? It doesn't really say that. So when you go terrain feature, does it mean the whole bit of terrain, or does it mean the bit that is less than 4? So a terrain feature is not the same as a terrain's feature, and that's true. Mikey was wrong again. Knights can hop over the edge of ruins. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. So can knights go over lower parts of ruins? I don't think so. I don't think so. But again, because it's not clear, we don't know the answer. And there's so much of this. There's so much. That stands to reason that if the base fits over the lower portion, then you should be able to move over the lower portion as long as it's not over 4 inches in. Not over 4 inches. Yeah, maybe the flying part, the flying section we just looked at, clarifies that it's parts of the terrain that are less than 4. But then they say the terrain feature is a terrain piece, because this says you move lower parts, so that's fine. So maybe knights can move over, but I don't know. Core rules make it clear. You better hope so. I'll ban you otherwise. How's that? Can you give me some clarity where I need to look? Because there's 117 terrain feature references. But it just says set up terrain features, you know? It doesn't sound like a real word. Page 44. It doesn't sound like a real word anymore. 48. Oh, you mean on the ruins section? Ah, terrain features. Here we go. Battlefields are populated with terrain features, and your models need to move over and around, which can powerfully... No terrain features follow a normal thing. Page 44, am I blocked? No, I said I read it. There's a delay, don't forget, mate. So it says the terrain feature is a piece of terrain on the battlefield, which can partially that you'll need to move over or around. What does this mean? Can move over terrain features that are 4 inches or less in height. So does this mean that yes, that you have to be less than 4 to move over any part, so that you wouldn't be able to just walk over this bit? But then this bit doesn't clarify that. I don't think it's really clear. So I don't think it's clear. That's what I'm saying. Jesus Christ, I need to wrap this up soon. Okay. So yeah, so a terrain feature is a piece of terrain. It can move over a terrain feature that is less than 4 inches in height. So I think a terrain feature is one piece of terrain, but I'm not sure. But also, if you have like a stack of crates, if a part of it is less than 4, you've got to say that it's like one terrain piece, I think. Bottom line is, it's Mikey's tournament, so it's his rules. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm making up the rules, but the reason I'm talking about it is because it's not very clear. Because I think a lot of people are going out and saying Tem's shit, and a lot of people are going out and saying Tem's amazing, but no one's really getting like the nitty gritty, and that's where I come in. I'm doing the nitty gritty. I'm like, this rule and this rule smashed together. What happens? Oh, you don't know? Me neither. That's what's happening. That's where we're at. So that's for Super Heavy Walker. There's also some other weird Imperial Knights rules, such as Squire's Duty. I hope you're all ready for this one. Okay, Squire's Duty. Is everyone ready? We do a lot of joking on this channel, but in all honesty, Mikey needs to be a playtester. Where can we get a petition circulated to make sure that happens? Start just a sign. I don't know what websites they are. I don't know. Change.org. That's one, isn't it? Change.org. In all fairness, a lot, like the first couple of videos I did about breaking the rules was like a lot of it was like what I'd read with like groups that I'm in who had were like either under NDA or obviously talking to the Hellstorm team and stuff like that. Or people are just talking about general rules that had been out for a little bit, so they could talk about it. But a lot of the rules I'm talking about today are from the weekend, so I can't take all of the credit. I'm obviously I'm signal boosting all these weird interactions, but I do have to give credit to the legendary people who played in the tournament this weekend for my event. They brought these to me. Like, I had to come up with a ruling for it, and I feel like every ruling I made sense, because I'm kind of going, this is how I think it should work, but it doesn't work. This is how I want it to work. It's not actually like how it should work, because it's not been wrote that way. So yeah, so basically I have used my tournament as playtesting to tell you about all the weird things that I found. So I thought that'd be fun. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, I just hope I always feel, I just don't want you to feel like you've wasted your time. I always want to make sure you've had a fun time. So, and I feel like a lot of these things, you can go away, and then when it does come up in your conversations, whether it's with your friends and stuff like that, you can just go, oh yeah, well, Mikey talked about it on stream on Monday, and he said it should probably work like this because that makes the most sense. Or Mikey didn't know, and neither do we. One of those things. But yeah, so Squire's Duty. Let's talk about Imperial Knight stratagems. We're going to go through step by step, and there's going to be a test at the end, okay? The Squire's Duty is a stratagem that you use at the start of the shooting phase or the fight phase, okay? You target 2 or more Armiger models from your army and 1 enemy unit that is eligible target for all of those Armiger models. So you go 2 Armiger units or more, so 5, 20, however many you like, and then 1 enemy unit that is an eligible target, okay? So an eligible target is a unit that it can see, or if it has an indirect weapon, one that it can't see but is in range of an indirect attack. But something that it can see and that it can shoot or fight this turn, okay? At that moment. Okay? The effect is, until the end of the phase, improve the strength and armor penetration characteristic of weapons equipped by those Armiger models by 1. If your army is honoured, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the damage characteristic. Okay? Chat, please tell me what happens with this stratagem. Okay? There's the full rules. Please explain to me how this stratagem works. I'll give you a second. You know? The enemy unit just makes them angry, so they get the bonus against anything. Close. Very close. Against all enemies. So, as written... Oh, Lyle just got the little light bulb just popped. The little light bulb just popped. You choose Armigers and then choose an eligible target, and then the stratagem doesn't reference the eligible target ever again. Okay? So what that means is whilst the Armigers just have an eligible target at the start, the Armigers get +1 strength and armor penetration, maybe +1 damage against any target they have, even if the target dies or you don't interact with it at all. Which is very silly. So they make you choose an enemy, but then the buff just affects everybody against every target, whether the enemy is still there or whether you're not shooting the enemy. Which I don't think is right, funnily enough. I do think that it's supposed to say, increase the strength and armor penetration of those weapons equipped by those Armigers when attacking that unit. But it doesn't say that. So, as it's written, you just go, can my Armiger target anything this turn? Cool, +1. Oh, sorry, not an Armiger. Can every Armiger see the same unit? Right, you all get +1 strength, AP, and probably damage against everything for the entire phase. It's so silly. It's quite clearly wrong. It should be against that one enemy unit. It's supposed to be like pack hunters. Under the scrutiny and judgment of the noble betters, Armiger pilots will redouble their efforts attacking as one to smash aside their foes. All of the foes ever this turn. Someone accidentally took away the restriction that says they must all target the same unit. I mean, if that would be really brutal if they only could attack that unit. But it should be whilst attacking that unit they get the buff, not rather than just in general. But it was quite funny watching people go, oh shit. Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it? And that is how it works. It's very silly. Like Bottle Discipline making really good with a missile launcher. Yeah, yes, I agree. That is kind of silly, but that doesn't word it in any weird way. It's just the name of it, you know? You are so disciplined with the bolter that you're so good with all ranged weapons because you've got all that bolter discipline. Okay, I can kind of get it. But this one is very clearly wrong because it says choose an enemy unit and then don't do anything with the enemy unit, just shoot anything else. Bolters and missile launchers. True. True. I have a question. How does the GSE stratagem where you choose 2 units work when you're using the Nexus ability to let you use a stratagem again? I'm not so sure, to be honest. Nexus. Once per turn, you can select one unit model or unit for your army with this ability as a target of stratagem for 0 CP, even if you've already selected it this phase. Oh, and then you can choose 2 units. Yeah, I imagine it'd be 0 CP, but you can choose a separate second unit as well. Again, I don't know. A really weird one. So when you can choose 2 units as part of a stratagem, and then use that stratagem for free if you target a unit, can you target a second unit for free as well? And technically, probably. I think they're trying to do the same strat as the Chaos Knight Dreadhound strat, but they screwed it up. Yeah, this is very similar to the Chaos Knight one. It's just not the Chaos Knight one. It's very different. But the other one with the Imperial Knights is one that's just like a technicality, I guess. So the Imperial Knights have oaths, right? They can become honored and stuff like that. And one of them's a bit funky. You might have already heard about this one. It's called Lalo the Tyrant. So when he's honored, the knights get an oath ability called each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. Now, this can be read in 2 ways. And the reason it can be read in 2 ways is because the wording isn't very clear. Because there's some things that say reroll hit rolls of 1. There's something that says reroll a hit roll. There's some things that say reroll 1 hit roll of 1. But the oath ability doesn't really say a lot. It doesn't really clarify. So you can read this. It's either each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll a hit roll of 1 or a wound roll of 1, which would imply a single roll of 1 and a single roll of 1 for shooting and wounding, you know. But the thing is that all attacks are written or implied to be rolled 1 at a time. So all the rules in the rule book are implied when you shooting, fighting, etc. When you're making attacks, the inclination is that you're rolling a single dice 1 at a time. So you roll 1 hit roll, roll to hit, you roll to wound, you roll to save, you roll damage, and then you move on to the next one. And you do that 18 times for like a Gatling cannon, which has 18 shots. So re-rolling a hit roll of 1 is every time you roll a hit roll of 1, rolling them 1 at a time. Oh, that's a 1. I'll re-roll a hit roll of 1. It's a hit roll of 1, so I'll re-roll it. But obviously when you fast roll, you roll 18 dice together. There's 18 dice. There's 3 hits. You can re-roll a hit roll of 1, you know? So a hit roll, is that 1 single dice? Or is that all dice that are 1s? Now, by the book, technically, it probably reads as all hit rolls of 1 because you are rolling them 1 at a time. However, in 9th edition, this was very clear because they had a clarification that said if it says a hit roll of 1, it's all hit rolls of 1 because the dice are rolled 1 at a time. But they don't have it anymore. Why the fudge can't we get a fast roll system? The rules are written as if you're rolling 1 at a time, but they say you should fast roll. So the intention is to roll 1 at a time. Not the intention. The clarification is written 1 at a time, but the intention is for you to roll multiple all at once. So again, so there's no clarification of exactly how this works, because you could read it as it rerolls a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1, which would imply 1 dice for each one. But also, if you roll 1 dice at a time, which is how the rules are written, it is every roll of 1. Why didn't they write the rules where you intended to roll all the dice? I think there's more problems when you write it that way. So that's a funny one. I ruled it as you can only reroll a single hit and a single wound in total. Just purely because Josh Roberts is a great guy. He's also captain of Team England, and he was playing all night. So I was like, you do not need any buffs. I'm bullying you personally. And he went and won the event anyway. So imagine if he re-rolled all of them. But this one is one of those, I don't know the answer. It feels like it's probably going to be all rolls of 1, just because of how dice rolling is written. Again, I don't know. Because it mentions when it slips to shoot or fight, it's talking about the activation. Yes, also true, because that is something that I kind of said. I said that's why you can read it both ways. Because it says each time it's selected, you can roll a hit roll, re-roll a hit roll. You know? So it's like every time you select it, you can re-roll a hit roll. So I see what you can read it as it's a single dice roll. But also, the way the dice rolls are written, each time it's selected, you can re-roll a hit roll of 1. But not a hit roll of 2 or a hit roll of 3. You can only re-roll a hit roll of 1, which implies all of them. So again, it's not clear, and that's why we're talking about it. But the final one, which I think everyone's talked about, it isn't Imperial Knights. We've got one more to go through, then I'm going to call it a night because I'm over by half an hour. It doesn't mention per attack, but like Nid Gene said, it's only per activation. Also true, yeah. But again, that's the thing. That's why you can read it 2 ways, because it says each time it's selected to shoot, which implies 1. But then the dice are rolled 1 at a time. You roll a dice. Oh, I rolled a hit roll of 1. I'll re-roll it. You roll another dice. Oh, I've rolled a hit roll of 1. Because you're rolling them once. You know? You're rolling 1 at a time, technically. And again, that's why it doesn't work. That's why it's not clear. That's why it needs an FAQ. Ambiguous wording, flip a coin. Yeah, I said it was a single one. Just because I think it's just because of the each time. But I don't know. A lot of people think it'll be the other way. And I totally understand. You know, I could see it going both ways. But I also don't think knights need any more buffs. But the final one, everyone, before I call it a night, is lowly Leagues of Votann with their appraising glare. You know, the appraising glare. You probably heard about this one. Leagues of Votann model only. In your command phase, you can select 1 objective marker your opponent controls. This is an enhancement. Until the end of the phase, while an enemy is within range of that objective marker, it counts as having one more judgment token that it actually has. Now, I don't think Leagues of Votann have any interaction with judgment tokens during the command phase. Okay? Because judgment tokens are basically give you +1 to hit and wound, essentially. So, Leagues of Votann get judgment tokens. Each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack, if they have 1, you get +1 to hit. If they have 2, they get +1 to hit and wound. So this appraising glare that gives them an additional judgment token if they're on the objective is great, but it also disappears at the end of the command phase. So they gain a judgment token, nothing happens, and then they lose it. So this is one which is clearly probably going to be like end of turn, which would make a lot more sense. But it's just like, why is it end of command phase? If you could change it, would you make it to your next command phase? I think it's till end of turn. I think that makes most sense. Because it's like while he's commanding his army, he's making them fight that guy, one particular guy, much better. But yeah, so So because it lasts until the end of the phase, you don't interact with it whatsoever, and then it disappears again. So I think it's supposed to be until the end of the turn. Until the end of the turn. That's literally one single word change would probably make the most sense. So whilst it's your turn, they have an additional judgment token. But as written, it does nothing. And I think it's 20 points. It literally does nothing. You gain a judgment token, you lose a judgment token straight away. Because you can't interact with it in the command phase. And that's all of the weird things that came up. Yeah, that's all of the ones. We had our little notes to go through. These are the notes that I came up with. These are the essentially the rulings I made for the event this weekend. And I thought I'd bring them up because I thought they were quite interesting. Of like rules that don't really work, that don't actually function in the game at all. It's just like there's no clear answer. There's no obvious answer. I mean, sometimes it feels like there's a very obvious answer, but it's not the answer that is written. You know, there's not like a clear, obvious not system. I'm trying to think of a word. There's not a clear functionality of each rule, of how each rule is going to interact with each other, because it just hasn't, you know? It doesn't work. There's some rules that just don't work, or doesn't feel like they should work, but they do work that way. And whether that's intended is different, whether it should be working, because we have rules of written as rules as intended. It's the oldest battle in Warhammer.
I can't work it out. Is 10th edition a hot mess, or were all your players over the weekend a hot mess due to the lack of aircon?
I think a little bit about it. Thank you so much for the 5, Steve. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so having the best way to learn about how your game works is to have a bunch of people in the middle of June at 30 degrees, probably hotter in the building, playing 5 games in a row and going, how does this work? How does this work? And yeah, it just feels like it's annoying to say, but it does just kind of feel like that with a little bit more playtesting, these things might have been noticed, with a little bit more proofreading from other people. But again, there's loads of rumors out there about playtesting. I don't care. It's just I think it's good to keep raising issues with the game, because we want people to enjoy the game. We don't want people to be feels bad because the game doesn't work properly, which at the minute some things just don't work properly. We had a very good system in 9th edition, and I think their intention was to take all the good bits of 9th edition and make it better, and take all the bad bits of 9th edition and get rid of it. And I feel like they have done a lot of that in a lot of regards, in a lot of places. But there are some things that they've added or changed or introduced or modified that now just don't work as intended, don't work properly, and just don't interact. Like, you know, like a praising glare just doesn't do anything. So not lying about 30 degrees, exactly. I had loads of fun stress testing it. Felt like we were play testing. Exactly, yeah. It's like, it feels like it's nice, but also you shouldn't have to be play testing in a tournament. It should just work. I mean, it's cool that we're like, oh yeah, look at all these cool things that happened that are so weird and so funky, and it's kind of fun. And we played 5 weird missions as well. That's also fun as well. But we buy models to play a game that works. We're not buying models to play test it, you know. Removing actions and having them on secondary cards feels silly. Maybe they're trying to make them easier. Maybe all of the pistols and assault weapons and monsters and stuff is to make it easier. Just doesn't feel right. I don't know whether it's right or wrong. We just have to guess. We just made it up on the day, you know? Waiting for my FAQs whether I can Overwatch twice. I know we did. That was the first one I went over. I still think I'm right with the limitation to 1, but you never know. Tenth seems messy, but once things are ironed out, I think it's going to slap. I still think there's a few issues. I still think combat is a big issue in 10th, but I think a lot of the game is very, very good. I enjoyed it, and it was a lot less broken than I was expecting, so there's at least that. And Charles, you had a question for me, or 2, every single game, and you enjoyed yourself, so that's saying something, you know? Because another one that came up was delayed reserves, which is you can only arrive on the board from reserve on a 3+. If not, you come back down next turn. But what if you have a stratagem that puts you in reserve and then forces you to come down next turn? Do you get affected by delayed reserves? And I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. But maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know. With how they've written a lot of the edition, I don't think they thought that hard about how actions work when they changed the writing. Yeah, literally. But yeah, there's a lot of things that's problem. We've talked about, like I put out 2 videos last week because we had Germany just banning a lot of 10th edition. And then there's obviously my video talking about things that I don't like about 10th edition, things that I don't think work or I just don't enjoy or what feels weird. And now we're like getting nitty gritty. We're talking about individual rules interactions that don't work. Just joined. Was it actually quicker per game? I don't think so right now. But I think that's because a lot of people don't know exactly how to play yet, or they don't know all of their rules just yet. So I don't think it's technically quicker just yet. But there you go. There's all of the rules interactions that came up over the weekend. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I do lots of weird rules, interactions, drama, like trying to like find any broken thing I can and talking about it. And maybe one day we can all laugh when we can Eldar have a less than 86% win rate without mirror matches. But that was this week, and hopefully I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you've all had a good time. Thank you for all of the gifted memberships, all of the super chats. It's been absolutely insane this evening. Again, as you can see, we hit 57 members. Like 600% of the goal, but that's fine. Thanks, everyone. But yeah, I hope you all had a fun time. Again, as I always say, I hope you had fun, and I hope I didn't waste your time. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back Wednesday, because we're going to be having the morning news. There's been some interesting stuff happening that isn't rules related, just general wargaming, hobby related, or just general community related. And that'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning UK time if you're working from home, or you're off that day, or you're just chilling in the garden with a beer because you're an alcoholic because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Then make sure you tune into the morning news. And I've got a video coming out this week or next week with this bad boy. Oh, baby. Look at it. I bought a table especially. This bad boy can print so many illegal armies. But yes, I got a Saturn 3 that I'm going to be reviewing. It was sent by Elegoo. Thank you very much, Elegoo, for sending it through. So we're going to be reviewing this, like doing a video with it, like printing some shit out. Probably not printing Warhammer with it, but you know. If you buy one, you can do what you want. I'm like your mum. But yeah, so we're going to be playing with that this week. So you'll probably see that behind me for like the next few streams while I'm like kind of playing with it. I finally got a table in here so I can film with it in here. So yeah, so that's it. So thanks for watching. I should have finished the stream 45 minutes ago, but now I'm going to end it now. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you Wednesday. I love you all, and bye-bye for now. Bye.